I'm looking at your FM24 saves today. You've sent me loads of them, and some of them are insane. Honestly, I respect the dedication, and it really makes me wonder, where do you get your ideas from? They are glorious, and I can't wait to share them with you. So let's get into the video. We start with this save, which has been submitted by Stoica. Thank you, buddy, for sending in your save. Now, I've chosen to show you this one because I feel like it's a save that's after my own heart. Now, and as always, I've got a bit of a description from each person who submitted their save. This time, Stoica says that this is a special one-team challenge, making Triestina from Serie C, which is this team here. This is Triestina, Calcio 1918, who are now in Serie A in Italy. Now, he says Trieste is a town near the Slovenian border that historically should be in Slovenia after World War II, but obviously isn't. Don't want to get too political. Now, I understand those things, having done a fair few of these saves as YouTube series and long-form videos. This is very much in my ballpark, and yeah, I think with Football Manager, it's probably best not to get too political with these things. However, what Stoica has done here is he has done a One Nation save. He's doing a Triestina save, but only signing and using Slovenian players, which he has a full squad here in 2028 of Slovenian players playing in Serie A. And if you have a look back, last season he got 94 points, winning 29 games, drawing 7 and only losing twice, which it's a very simple save. But I love these One Nation saves. I don't know if you've ever done one. If you have, let me know in the comments down below. I've now done a few of these. I've done a few videos doing it. I'm in the midst right now. It's kind of consumed my entire life, really. But I'm doing the Berwick save where I'm only signing Scottish players and trying to win the English Premier League. And it is so difficult because you're just so restricted by which players you can sign. I'm having a look at which players you've got here. I'm really hoping there's some good new gens. Or actually, I suppose, an actual wonder kid here in Luka Topalovic, who at this stage, about 5 years into a save, is looking pretty blooming good. You signed him from Orcs. 1k! Literally £1,000 you signed him for. That is really funny. That's like signing someone for a quid or something, isn't it? Brilliant stuff. Luka Topalovic, he looks like maybe your best player. You've also got Xhaka Biol, who is also, look at the value on some of these players. He is outrageous. He's actually a real player. You signed him for 57 million. He's actually only just joined. He's played his one game at the start of this season here. Now, let me go back to this description and see what else you said about this save. You said, I had to play some Italians in the first season. Understandable. And another guy in the second season because he was on loan to buy obligation. I understand that. I played one English player in my Scottish only save. He was half Scottish, so I feel like I can get away with it. However, I get that. There's a bit of a period where you're trying to make the team as one nation as possible. And in the meantime, you might have to play a few of the leftover players, so to speak. He says, though, that other than that, every single player that was fielded was Slovenian. Won Serie C and B back-to-back, then lifted the Serie A title and Italian Cup in 27-28, with Marcel Lorber still playing here since the first season. And we need to check out Marcel Lorber. Here he is, the defensive midfielder. He has been up through all of the leagues. Look, there you can see he won the Serie C that year, Serie B the next year. I love the fact that he's on loan as well. 2 years on loan, then he gets to the promised land of the top division and you sign him permanently. Love the story. I always try to bring a few players up throughout all of the leagues as well because it's just fun, isn't it? Especially when you then force them into the team and play them even though they might not be good enough. And I'm assuming, to be fair, he looks okay. He might be good enough. He's got a decent value now. He's wanted. Don't sell him. Please don't sell him. He finishes off by saying that 15 out of the 23 in the current national team play for Triestina. So we will check out the national team here. If I add insert column and club, you can see that, yeah, a pretty hefty chunk of the squad is playing for Triestina in Serie A. Great work. Love the save. I've chosen this one because it's so similar to the types of saves that I love to do, but keep up the great work. Love that. Thank you very much for submitting, Stoica. Let's have a look at the second save of today's video. Oh, before we do look at the second save, a really quick one from me. Please subscribe to the channel. You may have noticed we recently hit 90,000 subscribers, which means that goal of 100k is almost in touch and distance. There is a spot on that wall behind me that I'm reserving for a plaque, and you guys can help me get there. If you are watching the video and you're not yet subscribed, just click subscribe. It's, you know, free for you, and it really does make me happy. So yeah, please do that, and let's have a look at our second save. Okay, so the next save has been submitted by Stouters, and it is insane. He describes it as such. He says, I have been doing the Ultimate Football Manager Challenge on SI. which I've not heard of, but I assume it's on the forums and it's something that people talk about. I'm currently 4 trophies away from completion. My 97-year-old manager, here he is, Gary Hamilton, 97 years old. He says he has managed 15 clubs and 8 national teams. He says that the most recent season he's played through was the first time he's gone unbeaten throughout the whole year, although he did also lose the Champions League final, which must have been so gutting. He's lost 1-0 to Ipswich in a Champions League final after going unbeaten in everything else. Outrageous. By the way, we're in 2077. I feel like I need to just underline that point as well. His manager, if you go to his manager profile here, you can see that he's played 2,103 games. Now, he spent a bit of time on holiday, but even that, to be in 2077 and only have 23% on holiday, I did want to just underline the fact that he's playing the vast majority of these games, which is a hell of an achievement. I also want to show you. The game time is 117 days, 8 hours and 57 minutes. He gets the dedication factor of congratulations from everyone at Sports Interactive. We never thought you'd make it this far. I think it is the most dedicated message that you can get on the game. I'm pretty sure, right? To show his job history, these are the teams that he's been at. He's been pretty much all around. So he started in the Portuguese Championship, Portuguese 3rd Division, making his way up to the Portuguese Premier League with Sporting. He got the France job in there, PSV. He went to Brazil. He went to Japan. He was the Nigeria and then the Ivory Coast manager. He was in Mexico, Atletico Madrid, Napoli, Liverpool. He was the USA manager as well as the USA under-19s and under-22s, that's some dedication to take all of the jobs with these. Brazil, Italy. He then went to South Africa, Bayern Munich, 1 season at Utrecht, which just seems bizarre to me. Then Saint-Etienne, as well as Brazil again, then South Korea, and now most recently Fiorentina, where he's got himself to that, where he's won the league unbeaten and then got himself to the Champions League final as well. I mean, we could go through all of these different players and just how amazing they are, but let's just look at the top player here. Bara Mbenke is a Senegalese left back who is, yeah, he's quite good. Fair enough. He looks okay, doesn't he? Finally, he finishes off by saying a couple of mentions for a look around the save. Ipswich have won the Champions League for the 2nd time after beating Fiorentina. We just saw that. Crusaders of Northern Ireland have won the league 26 times in a row, which is brilliant. Celtic made a brief visit to the Cinch Championships, got relegated. And Aberdeen and Dundee have been floated on the stock exchange. Lovely storylines. Thank you so much for sharing your save, Stouters. Let's move on to save number 3. Oh, by the way, I think it might be a nice idea if you guys rate the saves. Let me know which one is your favourite in the comments down below. So far, we've had the Slovenian only save. We've also had this Ultimate Football Manager challenge. So out of the 2, let me know which one you find best. And maybe leave me a little comment down below. Also, if you want to submit your own save for a follow-up future video, there are so many to get through. And if you guys enjoy this, I'm happy to do more, basically. I will leave a link to the Google form, which is where you submit your saves to. It'll be in the description of today's video, as well as I'll probably pin a comment as well. Let's have a look at save number 3. And that save has been submitted by Justin. Justin says the following. He says, I ended up with Levante because I had never managed in Spain and I wanted to learn to be more comfortable with release clauses in contracts. He says Levante was specifically chosen because my girlfriend liked the name and the team colours. Little flex there from Justin, like it. This is probably one of the best teams I've ever had in an FM save. And he goes on to say, and this is the reason why I wanted to share it with you, because I want to know your thoughts on this. He says he is currently on a 331 game unbeaten run. It's between the dates of the 11th of May 2031 and the current day, which is the 16th of September 2036. If I show you the fixtures here, there are a couple of draws in there, but he's basically winning every single game. And I felt like I had to show you this. I want to know your thoughts on it first and foremost. I will actually do the little inspection here. By the way, I want to do my big disclaimer that I always do here. Football Manager is a single player game. Play it however you want. If you think that this is saving and reloading, it doesn't change anything. If my guy here, Justin, is having a lovely time with this, honestly, more power to him. I honestly do not care. You guys might have a problem with it. Honestly, to be honest, I just couldn't care less. I'm going to have a check, though, because I know that you guys want to see this. Game status says that he's saved the game 2,457 times. I don't know if that's a lot or not, to be honest. You guys, I'm just showing it so that you can see. He spent 26 days on the save, and he's not used the in-game editor, just so you can fully see it. I'll also show you that he has been on holiday for 0 days in the save. So he has actually played every single game on here as well. So I don't know. I'm just throwing all that into the melting pot. I think it's a really cool save to jump in and just see. Whether you think this has been done legitimately or not, I'll let you guys decide on that one. He then goes on to describe a few of the players, and he talks about some of his favourite players in here. He says he particularly likes Mateus Lopez. He says, not the best striker I've ever had attribute-wise, but the best I've ever had in terms of actual performances. Now, I mean, he must be quite close to it because he looks outrageous, and he's 6'3", which, of course, I'm going to enjoy. He has scored 235 goals in 234 games. Not the best striker he's used attribute-wise. I suppose he was talking about goals and performances rather than the attributes. The attributes themselves are quite good, though, I will say. Mateus Lopez, what's his goal record for Brazil? 20 and 31. He's still only 26 as well. Fair play. How much did he buy him for? 13 million from Sao Paulo. Not bad. Maybe it was just the tactic. Maybe you guys need to go and copy this exact tactic here, this 4-2-2-2 thing, and maybe you guys can go on a 331 game unbeaten run. I don't know. He goes on to describe a few more players and then also says he's really proud of his financial management in this save. Now, this is something I could never do. He says it's the first time that he hit over £1 billion in transfer budget. He's got £808 million to go and spend right now. I can only imagine what type of damage I could do with that type of budget. Can you actually imagine me spending this amount of money? That would be outrageous. It would be outrageous. And the final thing he says is that he signed Pep Guardiola as a scout. And frankly, that is beautiful. Look at him. He's 65 now, is Pep, and he's a scout here. He's a very good scout as well. I mean, he's a very good scout as well. Not too shabby. After leaving Napoli as manager, he's become the scout here. Nice one, Pep. Justin finishes off by saying, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Even if you don't end up using it, this was fun to write out and reminisce a bit, as I think I'm likely done with the save. Well, thank you for sending it in, Justin. Amazing work. Let's have a look at save number 4. Save number 4 has been submitted by Isaac. Now, the reason I wanted to share this save is because the idea behind how he started the save, and I thought it was quite imaginative. So I wanted to share it with you in case you wanted to have a go at doing this maybe in your saves, maybe to help you to fill the time up before the next Football Manager edition, because we're not getting an FM25, are we? And that is sad for everybody involved. Isaac, though, came up with the idea to simulate until Christmas of 2050. So at this point here, we're in 2056. So he's only about 6 years into the save, but the save itself is 50 years in the future. He says he took over at Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, you may think this is a little bit easy, and he acknowledges that himself. He says, and while that may sound easy, this was their recent string of results or seasons before he took over. Now, if I go to this page here, I think it underlines it quite nicely. He says they were down in the championship here, look, in 2045-46. They got promoted in 46-47, then relegated back again. So he started the save here when they were back in the Premier League, but only just promoted back to the Premier League. And he's managed to take them in his 5 or so seasons at the club. He's managed to take them to eventually winning the league again. Now, this was that most recent season, the champion season. They got themselves 90 points, just 4 losses in the entirety of the season. There's not loads we can learn about stuff here because these players are all going to be new gens. I suppose we should just look at who is the main guy. Adrian is the striker. He looks good. He'll score you the goals. He's got 126 goals in 175 games. I assume that was a big part of why you were able to win the league. He finishes off just by saying it's now 2056 and I've rebuilt them back to the top of the mountain. Now, so this save was less about the actual content. It was more about the idea, but I thought it was quite fun. So I wanted to share it with you. Let me know what you think. Let's have a look at our final save of today's video. Now, I've saved probably the most unhinged save till the end, and that is the save of Jack. Thank you very much, Jack, for sending this one in. It is outrageous. I feel like I need to read the entire description here for you guys to get a grip of what he's actually been doing here. We are in the year 2145, and in that time, Jack has played 4,923 games. He has won 2,632 of those games. He's been on holiday for less than 15% of this as well. So this is a serious time sink. In fact, I'm going to check the game status here. Jack has played for 30 days of his actual life, 3 hours and 36 minutes. That's actually not as much as I was expecting it to be. You must have been moving through really quickly, Jack, because I think that save we looked at earlier was definitely more time invested in it, wasn't it? But by a lot, actually, I think. Fair play, though. This save is ridiculous. He describes it as such. He says, one simple aim. It's simple, of course. Win every top flight division in Europe. But there's a catch. You have to start unemployed with 0 coaching badges throughout the entire save. I set the challenge of winning each top flight division, but starting with a team in the bottom tier of that nation and working my way up. So over his history, he has gone to every nation Well, he's aiming to go to every nation in Europe, start in the bottom division, and then work his way up to the top. So he starts in Austria, look, works his way to the Premier League. So it's the Austrian First Division with SV Horn until he wins the league. So we've got Austria, Belarus, Belgium. We've got Bulgaria, Croatia. He goes on and explains it further. This is why you need the full breakdown of what he's doing here. I have to win the top league with that team. If I get sacked, I start the nation again in the bottom tier and go again. I began my career in Austria and went alphabetically from there. Belgium was a struggle, resulting in a sacking, and Belarus was so difficult as I had to break bait. Gibraltar was pretty simple as it's only one division, and Hungary took no time at all. This is also with no editor, so finding players was all down to me and the scouting staff. I holidayed while looking for a job and also had the instant result skin to get through games. Now that explains a little bit about why there was less time invested in this. Using the instant result, you still have to set up the team for every one of those games. It isn't as quick as just holidaying through them. So yeah, that gets my respect. However, I am ending with the top 5 nations: France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and England in that order. And I told myself I have to watch all of those games when I get to that point. So he's even making himself watch more games later on. Just look at this screen here as he's moving through these divisions. One thing I am struggling with, did you actually win the Austrian league here? I'm struggling to see. You came third, but did you actually win it with SV Horn? Like it says you came third. I'm just saying, unless you left in a season before you actually won. I don't know. I don't mean to undermine the entire save there, but you might need to go back to the start and start all over again. I'm sorry, Jack, all right? Sorry for doing that. I'll let you in the comments down below, by the way, correct me and tell me exactly what happened there. Anyway, I feel bad for that. Finally, he finishes off by saying, at the time of writing, I'm currently in the Netherlands and Ajax are an absolute force, winning all but, I think, 4 seasons since the start of the save, which is about 141 league titles. If we just check that, yeah, Ajax, oh my word. That is outrageous. If you go to the past winners list on the Eredivisie, Ajax are a joke. Imagine doing this challenge and then getting to this point and thinking, yeah, we just got to beat Ajax to the league title. This must be so boring to be an Ajax fan. Well, actually, to be fair, more boring to be a Feyenoord or a PSV fan at this stage. So looking at this, you came third twice and then came second last year. And then this year, how are you doing this season? Are you in the running? I mean, you're already 6 points off. It might be another season of struggling here. What tactic are you rocking with here? Just a 4-2-3-1. It's an FM20 4-2-3-1 as well. Did you start this save back on an older FM, or is this literally all in FM24? I think it might just be all in FM24, to be honest. Outrageous save. Huge props from me. I think this one might be my favourite of today's video. I want to know what your favourite is, guys. And also, again, if you've got your own save that you want to send me that you think is better than these ones, I will happily have a look at them. Thank you so much for everyone who submitted one. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 100k. And if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love it if you did. Let's do a few more of these videos. They are so much fun. Thanks for watching, though. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.